Well, g'day. Today we're going to be talking about self-confidence, especially in the business world. And we're going to go over my 5 top tips for self-confidence. If we haven't met before, I'm Brad Sugars. I'm the chairman and founder at Action Coach. We have about 1,100 offices in 83 countries teaching business people just like you how to succeed in business and how to do great in business. Self-confidence. What's it all about? Well, self-belief, believing in yourself, charismatic approach to the way you do things. All of self-confidence really boils down into your ability to take action, your ability to succeed. You know, when we look at the confidence level of people, we go back to a simple statement, and that is that clarity leads to power. So we want to put you in a position of power, and we want you in a position of being able to make decisions and take actions, and that's really what self-confidence is all about. First tip to self-confidence is all about learning. The more you learn, the more confidence grows every single day. You get new ideas, new thoughts, new ways of approaching things. You cannot solve today's problems with yesterday's thinking. You know that, and I know that, so we have to keep learning. Now, whether you're reading books, and yes, I have 17 books out there, you can go and buy them on Amazon or jump on bradsugars.com. Whether we're doing reading or whether we're on the Headway app where we get books read to us in 20 minutes, short versions of them, or Audible, whatever methodology of learning. I always like having a mentor or a coach because I think that's the speediest way of learning. I like video as well, hence why you're on here. The more video I can watch, the faster I can do my learning. So that learning approach to it. And if you haven't checked out my website, there's literally hundreds and hundreds of videos here on Pinterest and across the world, YouTube, everywhere. All right, second thing you want to do to have high levels of self-confidence is have a very clear picture of what you want to achieve, okay? Know what your dreams and goals are. I'll do another video here on Pinterest about Dream, Goal, Learn, Plan, Act. It's my formula if you want to jump on that. But what we do is when we build our dreams and goals, when we know where we're going, okay, when you know what you're aiming to achieve, it's easier to have self-confidence. Why? Because when you know where you're going, you know what you need to learn, you know what you need to do, you have a plan. It's easier to have confidence when you're moving in a certain direction. And that momentum, that movement breeds more confidence. When we're sitting stagnant, it's hard to feel confident. When we're not doing anything, when we're not moving, when we're not approaching life in a different way, it's hard to feel very confident. Okay, third one is we got to look at optimism, okay? Are you hanging out with optimistic people or pessimistic people? Are you reading optimistic stuff or are you reading pessimistic stuff? Are you watching that news and seeing all of the world going to, you know, it's crazy, but the more optimism, the more positivity we approach it. And some people say, well, positive thinking won't get you everywhere. Yeah, but it'll get you further than negative thinking, okay? The way we attract great things into our life is we get clear on what we want to attract and we get positive about it. We get to that state of it. Now, whether that means you need to go and learn meditation or whether it means you need to just learn to have quiet time thinking about all the positive things that are going to come in your life, or whether you need to journal the positive things that are already happening in your life and acknowledge with gratitude whatever is happening already in your life, that's going to be a big part of your success. Self-confidence comes when we feel like we're on a roll. Self-confidence comes when we feel like we're moving forward. And so the more that you acknowledge the wins in your life, the more wins you attract into your life. You know, the way the world works is you keep getting given more of what you appreciate. You keep getting given more of what you're grateful for. So if you keep focused on those areas and focused on the positivity and focused on the good things people say, you will attract more of that. Now, I'm sure you know someone who does the exact opposite of that. All they do is focus on the negative. They literally live in that negative space. That is not where we want to be. So how do we move from that negative space to that positive space? Just start by acknowledging one positive thing in your life right now. And start by acknowledging every day 5 things at the end of the day that are positive for you. Whether you journal them or just acknowledge them to a friend or acknowledge them out loud to yourself. Either way, better questions, better focus gives you better results, all right? So stay as optimistic as you can by doing the things that make you optimistic. My 30X Life program goes into that in a lot of detail. If you haven't looked it up, make sure you do. Next one for self-confidence is challenging yourself, okay? It's very easy to sit back and be, I guess, comfortable. That's probably the word. Doing something new every day, challenging yourself to learn something new every week, to do something that takes you out of your comfort zone. You know, a lot of people think that, well, I'm comfortable doing X. Well, the only way you get comfortable with doing more is by doing more. You know, action leads to that whole process of you growing. growth is a very big part of it. And, there's a simple law of thermonuclear dynamics. Well, it's not that simple. But to make it simple, I'll state it very clearly. And that is that if you're not growing, you're dying. Like a tree, okay? The tree is either growing or it's dying. Your business is either growing or it's dying. Your investments are either growing or they're dying. Your knowledge, you personally, it's either growing or dying. There is no standing still. The tree can't stand still. It starts dying if it does that. And so we need to keep challenging ourselves so that we keep growing and keep learning. And the more you challenge the more you challenge yourself to step out of that comfort zone, the more you do that, the more confidence you gain because you're doing things. Now, some people say to me, but Brad, what if I mess up? Well, you're either learning or growing, okay? One of the two things. If you do something and it doesn't work, hey, next time, next thing, next way. I'm either learning or I'm growing. That's the way it is. You either win or you learn, okay? There's no win-lose, it's win-learn. And that's the whole process that we have to go through. And that's why challenging ourselves is really important aspect of building our self-confidence. The more you challenge yourself to do new things, try new things, all that sort of stuff. The final one I'm going to say is recognize your accomplishments. Now, you've heard of doing a bucket list. What about a reverse bucket list where you go back over the last year, the last 10 years, and look at what have you achieved in your life? What have you done? A lot of people get to the end of the year and instead of just doing the whole idea of planning out their next year, and they do their New Year's resolutions sort of thing. And it's like, and I always remind people when they're doing New Year's resolutions, we can achieve a lot more in 10 years than we think possible, but a lot less in 1 year. People overestimate what they can achieve in a single year, but underestimate dramatically what can be achieved in 10 focused years. So keep that one in mind. But going backwards and recognizing how far you came this last year, how far you came this last quarter or this last 10 years, look back and start to recognize those achievements, and it gets you to that point of thinking about, look at how much I've grown. Because here's the thing, when we as people grow, okay, if we set a new goal, and let's imagine you set a new goal of running a marathon, right? You set that as a goal. Well, you have to grow to achieve that goal. You have to do training. You have to get a mentor. You have to read and study and all those things to get to that goal. Every other goal is the same. The more goals you have, the more you have to grow. As you grow into your goals, as you become the person that achieves your goals, your self-confidence soars. So keep learning, keep growing, keep studying about the success that you want to have. If you want to be better at money, study money. If you want to be better at life, study life. Keep learning, keep growing. I'm Brad Sugars. It's great to be with you here today.